Hi Libra, welcome to your September 2024 tarot card reading. Happy birthday to all the September Libras out there too. Hope you guys get to do something super fun for your day. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I actually already got started because I was shuffling and this card popped out already. Decided to keep it, just turn the camera on. So this card says fork in the road. So this suggests a choice point, a pretty significant one as well. Now September in general is pretty tumultuous astrologically. Okay, we have Pluto dipping back into Capricorn, we have Uranus retrograde, we have eclipse season building, we have Mercury moving through Virgo again, we have Venus coming into your sign of Libra, kind of really forcing through a lot of adjustment there. So I mean, there's going to be a lot going on in September. All right, now when it comes to this fork in the road, it suggests a big decision that could lead to completely different outcomes. Now, Pluto dipping back into Capricorn can be kind of like a resurrection of a lot of the things in the past. There can be a lot of stuff that resurfaces during this time that we're going to have to confront and deal with. And we need to decide the best decision that is aligned with our highest degree of self-respect, the highest standard that we can possibly live up to, and the one that is aligned most closely with our big dream or our big vision for the future, and not the things that are comfortable, right? Because I think the idea of comfort and security is going to come through pretty strong when familiar things start popping up with this Pluto dipping back into Capricorn. Now this says trust your path. Okay, it says if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? I don't think there's going to be a risk of failure for you, Libra. And that might be one of the biggest hangups when you actually do come to this fork in the road. You know, when you're faced with, well, do I do it the old way or do I do it the new way? The new way is risky because I have no idea how it's going to really turn out. I have no idea if I'm going to fail or not. The answer is no, you're not going to fail. The answer is you're going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to work out. It's all going to work out in your favor. So I wouldn't let that fear stop you in any way. There will be discomfort though. And that was kind of really the whole point of 2024 as a whole. Like the whole big year was really meant to get uncomfortable and to do things that you have never done before. So let's see what the tarot cards have to say. Okay, we have the Ace of Wands. I mean, this really does feel like the start of a new adventure. And Six of Swords, the Hermit. You know, and honestly, yeah, we also have Mars coming into Cancer during this time as well. So I think there is a lot going on behind closed doors. A lot of people are working on their projects in privacy. They are planning their next moves in privacy. But with the Ace of Wands, I'm sensing a great deal of excitement for you, Libra. I'm sensing that kind of enthusiasm, the passion kind of coming through. I'm sensing that you are being led by spirit right now, or being led by your heart right now, as opposed to necessarily being led by logic. This does feel, okay, like it's going to shake things up a little bit. That Ace of Wands feels very, I don't want to say disruptive because it kind of has a negative connotation, but it's going to be interrupting. It feels like an interruption. You're going to be interrupting your normal programming, your normal routine with that Ace of Wands. But I think it's welcome. And I think it aligns with, when it comes to this fork in the road, it definitely aligns with the path you want to go down. You might be a little afraid to, but you want to. You want to try. You want to put yourself out there. You want to be available. You want to create. You want to go out. You want to go for it. And yet I still kind of sense, Libra, taking your time with that Six of Swords. It's like you want the movement to start happening. You want to really embrace this future, but you're also, I don't want to say hesitant, but there might be just a little bit of, like, it feels like you're walking very slowly, okay? At least at first. And it might be because of this Hermit card, because you might still be processing a lot of things. You might still be getting prepared. You might still be in, assembly mode where you're putting all the things together. That's very much what Virgo season is about. So that's fine. So it makes sense that you're not wanting to prematurely launch, because it's like, well, if I'm going to launch, I want to make sure I'm successful. But I don't want to see you doing nothing either. The Ace of Wands is certainly going to make you want to do something. It's going to make you want to create, make you want to take some big steps. Quiet, big steps. Quiet and slow, but big. The Six of Swords I like because it is that indication of moving toward a more peaceful place. So if for whatever reason, maybe Leo season was a bit tumultuous, maybe it was chaotic, maybe there was a lot going on for you during this time, I think things are going to start evening out, especially with Mercury now moving direct, coming back into rulership, being really strong in the chart, and doing what he needs to do to prepare for what comes next, which is Libra season. And I think you're okay with things kind of taking time, because it's going to make you feel more secure in your decision to take the unknown path. Because it's going to be really obvious. I mean, it seems that it's going to be really obvious that the fork in the road goes toward the new life or back toward the revival of the old life with the Pluto and Capricorn thing. And I've been saying for months and months that there are going to be a lot of people that just jump right back in that saddle of what they know and what's been happening for the past 15 years, and they're going to go on repeat again. So we have to be really aware if we don't want that. We have to be really aware and conscious of our choices if we don't want to revive the past stuff. Okay. This feels like a breaking point. That Ace of Wands feels like a breaking point where it's very clear that you are breaking away from the past 15-year era. Okay. Let's see what else comes out. Libra. Okay. Really happy with the Queen of Wands because she is ambitious. Oh, and then we also have the Queen of Swords. I love that. And the Five of Cups. The Queen of Wands, like I say, she's ambitious. She's the kind of, I call her the bulldog of the tarot, in my opinion, based on what I've seen in my experience. She really sinks her teeth into things and goes after it. She is driven by passion, and we see a lot of passion here with the Ace of Wands, but this is not a fleeting passion. Okay, to me, this almost kind of feels like an obsession, but not an unhealthy one. It's like the right amount of obsession that you need in order to stay focused, in order to prioritize, in order to accomplish certain goals, right? It's the perfect amount of obsession. It's like you've got your eye hooked on something and you're not going to be able to just let it go, right? You've been anchored into your future, if you will, now earlier this year, Pluto came into Aquarius, right? For the second time. So we've had several months now that kind of was like this window into what Pluto in Aquarius the next 20 years could really be like. And then we're going to have another stark contrast of what Pluto in Capricorn had been for the past 15 years. So the contrast is so like in your face, so we've had enough of a taste of Pluto in Aquarius to know that that's right, that feels where our life is going. And the Queen of Wands says, I'm not going to let this feeling go. As much as that current is going to try to pull me back, I won't allow it, But there is a fight in that Queen of Wands for sure. And I'm kind of sensing a little feistiness with Libra. I think even with the Queen of Swords, we know that Libra kind of has that reputation for being kind and accommodating. There's a charm factor that often comes through here. I don't know that I'm seeing Libra being so nice. not with the Queen of Wands, not with the Queen of Swords. I'm not saying you're running rampant and creating all sorts of problems, being ratchet or anything, but it's, you're clearly maintaining standards, holding up these boundaries, being extremely clear, not only with yourself, but with other people, which not everyone really likes that. But I don't see you sacrificing any standard or any self-respect right now. And it's like you can't afford to. You cannot afford to sacrifice any degree of self-respect whatsoever because your future depends on it. It's what's needed to keep you anchored in this future-focused place so you don't get pulled backwards. I look at this Five of Cups and it tells me that over the next month or so, there is going to be somewhat of a grieving process. That this is a period of saying goodbye. It's a period of saying goodbye to a life that you have known for a really, really, really long time. And a life that maybe you thought would never, ever change. Now, I'm not suggesting that everything is going to change all at once. All right. It's just, we're getting glimpses. Like we got a glimpse of Pluto in Aquarius this year. We're getting a glimpse of our past yet again over the next couple of months, September, October, and even on into November, all right? We're getting glimpses here. And when Pluto officially comes back into Aquarius for good at the end of the year, we're going to feel much more settled in a lot of these decisions. But I feel like there's a lot of temptation over the next couple of months that we have to stay strong in the face of these temptations. Okay, but there's a lot of grieving. Your life is changing. I know that you can feel it. We're all feeling it, everyone, not just Libra, but everyone's feeling it. And our identities are being shed, especially you with the South Node in your sign. You're not who you used to be. You can't be who you used to be. It's very difficult to hold on to those identities. And it is a reinvention process that Libra is kind of being forced to go through. But through this reinvention process, you are finding extraordinarily high levels of strength that maybe you didn't really know that you had or that you were capable of. But your firmness, let's just take a real life example. Let's take like a dating example. Okay, so you're dating and there are these people who are interested in you. Okay, well, this is kind of on your plate to be very firm about what you want and what you expect. And if someone isn't meeting those standards, to be really quick to say, hey, this isn't working. Or, hey, I need this to adjust. I need this to change in order for that to happen. In being clear and concise and kind of blunt about it, being really blunt about what you need. And if someone can't meet it and they can't satisfy it and they can't achieve it, well, then it's probably not the person for you. And that can apply in the workplace, that can apply with family relationships, any type of relationship really. But I see an elevation going on that is really, really empowering. The thing with the Queen of Swords, now, as much as the Queen of Wands, in contrast, is very fiery and has that obsessive quality to it, the Queen of Swords is a little bit more calculating and more strategic. This is what's kind of slowing the pace, I think, because I did get the feeling that this was moving slowly, and it's the Queen of Swords in the very center of the reading. This is the typical Libran, like, let's make sure everything is right before we go forward to make sure that we, have a higher degree or higher likelihood of success. We don't want to rush. We don't want to do anything prematurely. We don't want to do anything before we're ready. And that's what the hermit mode is really all about, right? Making sure that we're ready. And the Queen of Swords is going to be self-aware and able to really look in on herself, or you're going to be able to look in on yourself and not criticize to the point where it's debilitating, but be very honest about where you're at and what needs to be done in order to get you to where you need to be. Okay? So she is going to slow down the process a little bit, even though there's still going to be, a lot of steps being taken, especially with the Ace of Wands. Let's see what else comes out. So we have 5 of Coins, 7 of Wands, and the Ace of Coins. Yeah, see, I'm not going to say this is going to be across the board for all the zodiac signs, but when I was really looking at September, the astrology of September, I just thought, I was like, I don't know that this is going to be the most rainbows and fairy tales type of month with our readings. I think there's going to be a very serious tone, and that seems to be the case. 5 of Cups, 5 of Coins. This is an opportunity for you to correct something. And maybe that stuff from the past that's coming up is coming back up so you can take the correct course this time, because perhaps you didn't in the past. Perhaps you took a course that lowered the self-respect, that lowered the standard. And that was never the point. That was never how it was supposed to go, right? That was maybe a lesson you had to learn, but now is a time for you to say, okay, I've learned the lesson, and kind of declare it and make it so. I've learned the lesson. I'm not going to repeat the same mistakes. I'm going to be moving into a new phase of my life. And it's very direct, like you are directly declaring this to the universe and saying, this is so because I say so, right? I'm changing. My life is evolving because I say so. And the 5 of Coins, there is a pain point. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's health, maybe there's something going on with your relationships, but there is something that is diminished, something that has depleted or seeped out, and you need to replenish. And I look at this 7 of Wands, here's the feistiness that I'm seeing with the Queen of Wands. It's that willingness to fight for it. And I think you are very willing to fight for it. And because you're willing to fight for it, that is even more reason why you're going to be assertive with your boundaries and standards. Because you are fighting for something good. You are fighting for a better life. You're fighting for what you want and for a lifestyle and for a way of being. You're fighting for that and doing everything you can to make it happen. So anyone that comes into your life, anyone that you're interacting with, they are going to kind of have to level up in order to be in your little inner circle, okay? Especially if they're trying to get close to you in more of a personal way, not necessarily with your professional contacts, but if it's like, again, someone dating or a spouse or a friend or a family member that, is trying to get into your life or something, it's, they have to show you. They're going to have to really show you. And many people will not make the cut. And it is a very black and white type of a line. They've either made the cut or not. So maybe your circle is going to be diminishing. And I know you've already cleaned out your circle a lot. So it's not as though that's new. But it does seem to be like it's time for another kind of filtration process to kind of filter everything out. But what happens when we do that, we get the Ace of Coins. It's that suggestion that there is going to be some type of reward, right? That all of this is not, and remember, this was, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So all of this is happening in pure faith. You're doing all of this in the belief that it's going to work out, in the hopes and belief and in the faith. And the Ace of Coins says, yep, you're right in having that faith. Because this is the replenishment. Because here's the depletion, 5 of Coins. Here's the brokenness. Here's the stuff that's not working out super great. And here's the influx. Now, this contrast here really speaks to Venus coming into Libra, which is going to force a lot of adjustment in our lives. Adjustment is not an easy process. The process of those scales coming into this balancing, the counterbalance, it's not easy. It's somewhat very karmic sometimes. I often think Libra is a more karmic sign. I know that that's not really like a thing, and I don't want to necessarily perpetuate that idea, but we always talk about Capricorn and Saturn as being this very karmic place. I often feel Libra is that way as well, where when the scales of justice are at play, it's an equal playing field. And if anything is askew, it's kind of like going to the DMV. Like, we're all on the same playing field there, right? Like, we're all on the same level. And no matter what you think, or no matter how high your ego is, or how much you've accomplished in your life, or how successful you are, those scales are going to make sure we're even, okay? So I'm kind of getting a sense that Ace of Coins is coming in to level everything out. And it's in response to your brave action, your courageous action as you proceed throughout the month of September. This may not happen in September necessarily. This may happen particularly after the eclipse that's in Libra on October 2nd. So this may kind of bleed into October a little bit, and you may start to see that Ace of Coins coming in a little bit later on. But September, you're definitely going to be in this kind of I'm fighting for what I want mode. And I don't think Libra is going to take anything lying down. I don't think you are going to play victim or play martyr or anything like that, especially not with Mars coming through Cancer in the 10th house. I think Libra is very determined to achieve with Mars in the 10th, to achieve that goal, to achieve that vision, and do whatever it takes to get yourself to where you want to be. And I don't think Libra's take no prisoners kind of energy. So, I mean, it's fierce. It feels really fierce. And like you are taking on a more fierce approach to things, which you will see results from that. You definitely will. Okay? All right, Libra, we're going to plot all the clarifiers. So for those of you who are new here, I'm going to talk for another 25 to 30 minutes. We pull out a whole bunch of new cards and we go really deep into this reading. The comprehensive reading link can be found in the description box in the pinned comment thread down below. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Ace of Wands. Let's see what comes through. What else does Libra need to know? 10 of Swords. I'm not surprised there's like that ending energy there. King of Cups, King of Wands, 3 of Swords. I don't know that those kings are you. I feel like you're more the queen energy. Those queens feel like someone else. Hermit, 3 of Coins, Judgment, 4 of Cups. Beautiful. I'm so happy we're getting the Tower, because the Tower can be really welcome sometimes, 9 of Swords, Knight of Coins. All this tells me is that you're just doing something that scares you. That's all this tells me. And that's probably the best thing you could do, is something that scares you. World, the 10 of Coins. Oh, hold on. Just pulled out a whole bunch, so we'll take them. And then we have the Fool, the Knight of Swords, and the Queen of Swords there. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of relationship stuff going on. Like other people are involved in this story big time, but it's not really about other people, but they're certainly showing up. Temperance, 9 of Cups. And another Ace of Coins. I'm going to pull out one more just because we got a repeat there, which is good. 4 of Wands. Beautiful. All right. So this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive Libra. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you so much. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon.